Okay, let's dive right in. We're going to talk about something that's, well, kind of painful, but absolutely crucial to understand in business. And that's the fact that having a truly great product, maybe even a perfect one, often just isn't enough to guarantee success. You've heard this a million times, right? It's this idea that's just baked into our culture. Just build something awesome and the customers will just magically appear. It sounds so simple, so logical. Well, I'm here to tell you that is a flat-out lie. And it's not just a white lie, it's one of the most dangerous myths in the world of business. It's a belief that has guided so many brilliant people and their amazing ideas straight off a cliff. I mean, that graveyard is absolutely littered with these incredible, high-quality, game-changing ideas that nobody ever actually bought. So in this explainer, we're going to figure out exactly why that happens. Why do so many truly good products that people poured their entire lives into, end up failing? Well, it usually boils down to 7 specific and, pretty deadly traps. These are the hidden pitfalls, the real reasons that just being excellent isn't enough. And I promise you, once you learn to spot them, everything starts to change. All right, first up, and this one is a biggie. So many people get this wrong. You get hyper-focused on what your product is instead of what it does for your customer. You're trying to sell all the technical specs, the ingredients, the fancy code. In other words, you're selling the drill. But here's the secret. Nobody actually wants a drill. Think of it as a translation issue. Your customer, honestly, couldn't care less about 16 GB of RAM. What they care about is being able to edit their 4K vacation video without the whole computer freezing up. They're not buying a 400-watt motor. They're buying the feeling of having a clean home in 10 minutes so they can get back to their lives. They don't buy a bottle, they buy an identity of health and status. It's so important to get this. People don't buy products, they buy better versions of themselves. Okay, the second trap is something called the curse of knowledge. This happens when you just know too much. You've lived and breathed your product for months, maybe even years, and you start to assume that everyone else just gets it, that they understand its value as clearly as you do. But they don't, not even close. So how do you fix this? I always use what I call the grandmother test. It's simple. If you can't explain what you do and why it's valuable to a 70-year-old in 2 simple sentences, your messaging is broken. Period. Because if people are confused, they'll just tune out. You have to remember, confusion is the silent killer of sales. Clarity is everything. Trap number 3. Now, this one requires some real, honest self-reflection. You need to ask yourself, is my product a vitamin or is it a painkiller? Is it a nice-to-have or is it an absolute must-have? And here's the difference, right? Vitamins are good for you, sure, but you can forget to take them for a few days and life goes on. Now, if you have a raging migraine, you will drop everything and do whatever it takes to find a painkiller. The market always rewards products that solve a burning, essential problem. Moving on to trap number 4, poor positioning. This is that classic, massive mistake of trying to be everything to everyone. You hear it constantly from founders. Oh, my product is for everybody. But listen to me. When you try to speak to everybody, you end up connecting with nobody. Let me show you what I mean. Saying I sell clothes is, well, it's totally forgettable. It's just noise. But what if you say, I sell affordable, luxury clothing for young professionals who want to look successful? See that? All of a sudden, you're not just selling a product, you're selling an identity. Specificity is what makes a customer sit up and think, whoa, that's for me. Right, on to trap 5. I call this the invisible factor. You could have invented the most amazing, world-changing thing imaginable, but if it's sitting in a locked basement where no one can find it, it's completely and utterly useless. A great product that nobody knows about doesn't really exist in the marketplace. And I really want you to let this reframe sink in. A lot of creators feel like marketing is kind of sleazy or inauthentic, but it's not. If you truly believe your product can help people, then getting it in front of them isn't just a business strategy, it's your moral obligation. Being the best-kept secret is not a badge of honor. It's a failure to serve. The 6th trap is all about weak messaging, and it comes from a fundamental misunderstanding of how humans work. We tend to rely on logic and facts to sell things. But here's the truth about people. We aren't logical creatures. We make decisions based on emotion, and then we use logic to justify those decisions after the fact. This is why your product has to have a soul. It needs a story. You have to create a narrative. Who's the hero? Hint, it's your customer. What's the villain they're trying to defeat? Without that story, you're just another commodity on a shelf, and your only option is to compete on price. And trust me, that is a race to the bottom that you will lose. And that brings us to our seventh and final trap. And this might just be the most important of all. It's the trust gap. You see, for every single potential customer, there's a huge chasm between being interested in your product and actually buying it. That chasm is filled with doubt, risk, and uncertainty. It's filled with a lack of trust. So your job is to build a bridge across that chasm, and you build it plank by plank. Every customer review, every testimonial, that's a plank. A professional, polished brand, another plank. Consistent, clear communication, you guessed it, another plank. And please, burn this last point into your brain. A trusted, average product will outsell an unknown, excellent product every single time. Trust is more powerful than quality. Okay, so we've walked through these 7 different traps. Selling features, being invisible, the trust gap. They seem like separate issues, don't they? But what if I told you they all stem from one single underlying problem? What's the one mindset that causes all of this? This is it. This is the big aha moment. It is the fundamental shift from being product-obsessed to being customer-obsessed. The product-obsessed person is always asking, what can I build? What feature can I add? But the customer-obsessed person asks, who am I helping? What is their biggest problem? When you shift your focus from the what to the who, it changes everything. This right here should be your new mantra. Write it down, put it on your wall. Stop falling in love with your features and start falling in love with your customers' problems. Your features are just the tools. The problem is the entire reason you exist. When you fall in love with the problem, the right solutions become crystal clear. And this is the ultimate takeaway. This is the truth of how the world actually works. Success is not a lottery that's magically awarded to the best product. It is a reward for the best communicated value. And here's the good news. Communicating value isn't some innate talent. It's a skill. And like any skill, it can be learned, practiced, and mastered. So here's what I want you to do. Here is your new action plan. Go back and give your business an honest audit. Ask these 4 questions. Number 1, are you selling outcomes or features? 2, is your target market specific? 3, are you consistently visible? And 4, are you actively building trust every single day? I'm telling you, just fixing one of these areas can be a complete game changer. Because at the end of the day, that's what it all comes down to. The market doesn't reward your hard work or your brilliant product on its own. It rewards clarity. It rewards communication. So the real question isn't about how good your product is. The real question is, are you ready to make that shift? Are you ready to stop blaming the market and finally start mastering it?